Good morning, everyone. Yeah, there we go. It's June. It's almost holiday time. It's pretty good. I'm Trevor. I'm part of the teaching team here. It is Father's Day. I'm the first father officially up here to say that. So happy Father's Day to everybody. It's pretty awesome. My son said, go look at the deck. I leveled it-ish for you. That was his Father's Day present and his reminder. I hope your gift is as joyous and slightly less wobbly than mine was, but I did appreciate it. I hope you're spoiled today. Now, you've been hearing about fundamentalism, and you're thinking, hold on, is this Friends Church? Okay, you're in the right place. You've seen our banners, a church for people who don't fit church. So when I ask this question, I suspect you guys I think you'll have an answer. Has your faith ever been rocked? Has your faith ever been rocked? Mine was. I'm at a University of Calgary class taking Western religion. I'm going to give you a bit of background, though, why I was at that class. I grew up very Catholic. Any other Catholics? Yay! Okay, the rest of you, I'm going to bring you up to speed. Catholic, we got a lot of rituals. We went to church every Sunday, did all the holidays, the whole kit and caboodle. I did First Communion, I did confirmation. I had a stint as, Yanni, do we got my picture up there? That's me. The hair has migrated, but that is me. I did a stint as an altar boy. I would say we were very Catholic in my family. And with Catholic, you get there's a lot of rules, but you kind of know which side you're sitting on in terms of what's good and what's bad. Go back to this little kid and say, did I enjoy it? Or what kid's going to enjoy giving up like Sunday mornings and going to church? Like, no, of course not. But as I think back kind of through that nostalgic lens as an adult, I'm like, I really felt I knew where I was in the world and also kind of where God wanted me in the world. It's a pretty calming feeling. All going pretty good. Now I'm back at this UFC classroom. Western religious studies. I'm like, I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school. This is going to be easy. Free grades, right? And the professor's talking about this guy named Jesus, and I'm like, I know this guy is going to go well. Until he says, and Jesus' brothers. Huh? I know he kept talking after that, but I was literally stunned, completely taken off. Now, as a Catholic, we'd grown up with something really important. We say an act of faith every week, the Nicene Creed, and in there's a really important line. Yanni, you got that one for me? And I ask, Blessed Mary, ever virgin. Jesus is ever virgin. Head's going. At some point, and I think quite a few moments afterwards, I put up my hand and said, Jesus had brothers? Professor didn't miss a beat. Oh, yes, of course. And then went on to cite sources. What the heck? Okay, I went to Catholic school, yes. We still had sex education, so I knew how Jesus could have had brothers. But you have to understand, ever virgin. Okay, that means ever, ever, ever. He says Catholics who believe in the Immaculate Conception. That means somehow something came down and then we had Jesus, and then she was ever, ever virgin. No sex. Therefore, no brothers. And that was a day my faith got rocked. It's goofy, right? Like, it's just a logical disconnect. But I was completely stunned. Completely. And you know what? It threw everything into question. Kind of like a Jenga game. You start pulling out a block. Everyone's played Jenga? Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden, this beautiful sense of calmness. I couldn't find it anywhere. Because you know what I was feeling? If you fooled me on this, what else have you fooled me on? Was the Bible literal? Are non-believers actually going to go to hell? Was divorce not allowed? Sex out of wedlock's out? Did prayers actually get answered? What happened when your faith got rocked? that Jenga game, it tipped. That was the end of those blocks. And the challenge for me, suddenly everything is up for examination. So I'd grown up Catholic, I got the teachings, and I knew at that point what was right, what was wrong. It's not just that I'm not going to church anymore. Everything's on the table. It overwhelmed me. I don't know what you felt when your faith got it, but for me it was completely overwhelming. I'm like, okay, what should I do next? But really, that's not so bad, right? Because I could construct my own belief system. I've got lots to choose from. It should be great. But this is crazy big. I can't even get my hands quite big enough to show you how monster this is. So I was raised Catholic. But I said, hey, what if I switched over to Protestantism? They've been doing this for 500 years, right? Everybody's doing it, right? So I thought I'll go there. But should I go Baptist, Anglican, Lutheran? Worse, those are words to me. I have no idea what any of those systems mean. And then if I'm going to go abroad, why don't I look at Buddhism? And what about Hinduism and Muslim and Judaism? It's a lot of choice. It's huge. But this should be better for me, right? Maybe it's okay that my faith got rocked, is what I'm thinking. Now I can go out and find my own answers. I can construct a belief system that's just not going to fall. Because I'm kind of going with this idea that it's kind of ideal that the more choices I have, the better it's going to be for me. Better is for us, right? More choice is better. More choice is better, right? Yeah, Bryce is going no. Way to be, Bryce. Does it function like that in real life, though? Okay. We're going to do a little bit of imagination. Everyone's got their imagination fired? Friends invited you over for breakfast. You're like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm so excited. And you're hungry when you arrive. And just as you walk in, oh my goodness, that's beautiful, fresh toast right out of the toaster. And they put it on your plate. And you're like, oh, this is great. And then they say, would you like some jam? Like, huh. Would you like some jam? And they pull open a pantry that looks like this. And you're thinking, yes, freedom is awesome. Look at all the choices I've got. And your friend says, hey, let me help you a little bit. Would you like peach, triberry, rhubarb, lemon strawberry, apricot, raspberry, blueberry, jalapeno pepper, zucchini, pineapple, strawberry, kiwi, cherry rhubarb, wild berry? Did I offer you blueberry already? And sorry, did you need that organic, sugar-free, sugar-reduced? Wow. So for the next 10 minutes or so, you're going over all the types of jams you could have. Wow. And you finally make your selection, and you spread it on your now cold toast. Okay, what happened here? More choice is better, right? This is a terrific book, The Art of Choosing. If you're a reader, let me recommend it. Because researchers share something that's actually really obvious even as they say it. As humans, less is actually a little bit easier for us. It seems really counterintuitive, but we actually do better with fewer choices. But freedom is awesome! And I think in some cases it is, but maybe not always. See, when we have less choices, it just takes less mental energy from 1 or 2 versus 100. Ooh, and studies go on to show that when we feel overwhelmed, we're not even as confident with the choice that we do make. Okay, so I'm thinking here, more choices seem ideal. I'll just reconstruct my own religious belief. But with everything on the table, it exhausted me. More choices, right? Anyone bought tires recently? Like, there are 4 things I want on my car, right? Like, why are you asking me all these other questions? I just want my car to go forward, right? The great thing, someone asks you, let's go on a holiday. Where? Oh. I'm hungry. Let's go out and get something to eat. What do you want? My favorite one, I saved this one. Let's watch some TV. What do you want to watch? Have you gone through any of your streaming services? Like, by the time you're through, it's like, what were we trying to see again today? Like, it just gets too much. I like choices. Choices at times are awesome. But it can exhaust us in lots of areas of your lives. Okay, I'm going to go back to our friend's house. Back to our friend's house. Get that imaginations firing. He's got that bread coming in. Smells delicious. Oh, so excited. Right on the plate in front of me. And he opens up the cupboards and said, listen, would you like some raspberry jam? And there's only one thing. Now, who wants raspberry jam? There we go. The rest of us, we're just having butter or nothing on our still warm toast. Moreover, as you're eating this toast, you're feeling quite content. Oh, I want a jam or not. It's pretty cool. It's ideal with the choice, but it can push us past our happy points. What if we could somehow set limits to the number of choices? Okay, how might we even go about doing that? My brother's only 20 months behind me, so we're pretty close in terms of like, my brother's the one with the beard, the cute one is his grandson, just if you were unclear. Only 20 months behind me, so it's not that distant. Grew up the same Catholic, we went to the same church, did the same sacraments. He did time as an altar boy like we did the kit and caboodle. But when my brother's faith got rocked, he went a very different direction. He became even a more strict practitioner. 20 years ago, my brother joins a group called the 12 Tribes. It's named after the 12 tribes of Israel. This should give you an indication of where we're going here. And I remember our first visit out there. They had their compound out in Nelson. Everyone had beards. Sorry, just the men, I realized. All the men had beards. But everyone had covered heads. They all dressed the same. They did communal meals. They did religious practitioners twice a day. Every morning, every night. And they did like these group dances and sings. I won't talk for the rest of my family, but it was nuts. It felt crazy, yes? Yes, I see some nods from the rest of my family. And it was scary as heck for me. I'm like, holy smokes, there is so much that you guys have to do. And they had rules like dietary restrictions, no pork, no shellfish. Clothing couldn't be mixed material. I'm like, okay. The Bible's literal. I'm like, struggling with that one myself, but all right. And while it was overwhelming for me, for my brother, I have less choices. It's kind of like he just swept all the jam off of his shelf and said, here it is. It's huckleberry. That's the answer. That's the only jam we will have. Huckleberry. Listen, I was worried about my brother. I still do. He's my little brother. But I'm like, I can see where this was going. So what if somehow we kind of set limits on the choices? Could we do that? Okay, in order to do that, I have to take you to a crazy place. Alessandra, help me a little bit. Could fundamentalism have something to teach us about limiting choices? Fundamentalism may have something to teach us about limiting choices. Okay, I see you're still with me, so that's good. Again, this crazy book, The Art of Choosing, researchers discovered something that just blew my mind apart. Strict religious practitioners were actually happier people. Strict religious practitioners were happier people. Okay, you guys know why. With the jam knowledge, they had huckleberry to choose from. They didn't have pineapple or rhubarb kiwi or any other plethora. They had one choice. It was easy. Are we drinking or not? They've got rules around it. Are we dancing? What type of dancing can we do? Can we sing? Can we not sing? Can we use a musical instrument? Can we get divorced? Can we not get divorced? I see this with my brother in so many areas. It's just black and white. It's yes or no. And because he feels he's right with the world when he does that, he feels he's eating the right jam. He's just like, oh, it's so good. From so many to so few. And fundamentalism does that. It offers a yes or no. But how do we apply that at church and at Friends Church, where this is a church for people who don't fit church? Many of us have come from some sort of background, maybe not Catholics, but we're like, ugh, and then something broke, and we couldn't keep going forward the same way. Let me give you an interesting question. Where could I choose to bring less choices deliberately back into my life? Choose. Choose. It's a personal spiritual journey, but I think some examples are good in this one, and I think it applies to more than just spiritual realms. My dad just turned 80. We had his party last night. 80. That's pretty cool. At 60, he said, I think I got to get healthy. Okay. Should have done it at 50, but it's not too late, I told him. And so what did he do? He said, well, I'm going to look at all the options on the table. Now, 55 plus people in this room, how many different choices could we give my dad to be healthy? At least 55. Here's a diet that's worked for some of us. Here's some exercise programs that's worked for some of us. If you want to talk about overwhelming choices, health, I think they're right up there with religion to how many you'd actually have. So my dad said, okay, I got to get behind something. So I'm going to do weights. I'm going to do them 2 days a week. I'm going to do a weight workout. Okay? So Tuesdays and Thursdays mornings, 7:30 in the morning, my dad is at the gym. It's either upper body or squats, those leg days. Now remember, he's retired. Why is he waking up at 7:30? Why does he go do this rain, sleet, shine? Because it's Tuesday, and I got to do my gym day. He's just narrowed his choices. There's no other option for Tuesday morning at 7:30. It's not on the table. He can't see himself making another choice. Now, maybe with weights, you could say, oh, that's probably why he's still so healthy at 80. It still could be hard to prove on an individual basis. But for him, that limiting choices feels so good. What about in the spiritual realm? My wife, my lovely wife, would not be sure if she believes in God, but karma, she absolutely believes what comes around goes around. So what's so important about that beautiful structure? Well, every once in a while she's faced with dilemmas. Oh, do I have to take my father to another medical appointment? Karma, what comes around goes around. Yes, I'd better do that, right? Oh, this person gave me too much money at the bank teller. Oh, do I have to give it back? What comes around goes around. Yes, I do. There's so many things that she could be doing instead of taking her dad to a medical appointment or spending that money on that she got wrongly from the teller. But automatically, this is the framework that she's created. Can she prove karma? It gets worse if you guys listened to Jeff's message a couple weeks ago. I've got karma all wrong. Apparently, it gets us into the next life. So oh my goodness. But it works for her to create this beautiful spiritual belief. Oh, that's pretty awesome, actually, when you get there. Can I get you to think back maybe to something that you had to let go of? Maybe it was the Bible. Maybe it was certain friends. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's a workout routine. And just ask, could I choose to bring that back today? To bring that calm, to narrow those choices. Could I do that? Fundamentalism may have something to show us here. By joining the 12 tribes, my brother, he's taken a lot of choices off the table. But I couldn't join the 12 tribes. So while I can appreciate the lesson, it's the whole personal journey thing. We have to do it on our own. This really struck me last month. Driving up to the lights at Edworthy Park, right off of Bonus World, and I see two young ladies in there waving banners in the air. I didn't even put but Jesus saves us from hell and Jesus is life. And I'm just like, you're crazy. That was my first thought. I'm like, I don't agree with any of those things. That's nuts. Okay. But I had to stop, and I watched them for a little bit. I'm like, It's a strange thing to be doing on a Saturday afternoon. But they'd chosen to believe that this was something that was important. And I said they were waving. They were jumping. They were really happy. Oh, I was like, wow, this is the last time I was that confident about a choice. And I kind of backed up from the slogan and said, what would I wave? Let me take you back to that U of C desk. Sitting in that classroom and everything gets broken. I can feel there were some things I didn't want to get up, but I didn't know how to bring it back. I couldn't do it at that time. It took me a decade to say, like, okay, what kind of banner would I wave today? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I believe in church. That's the banner I'd wave today. I believe that Sunday mornings, this is what I need to do. I need to go to a community of spiritual seekers. I need to spend some time. And I don't have to think about what else am I doing on my Sunday mornings. Probably a really good thing this morning that I believe in church, right? Like otherwise I'd be watching a football game or something. But it's just interesting. I thought, well, whoa, that is something that I could reclaim. Church is really important to me. And it's just kind of nice to find that calm center again. If you've been coming to Friends for a while, we don't come up with answers. In fact, we often challenge you. But I'm like, I could get behind that. Okay, I want you to just think about this, another thought. Is there anything you could put on this banner? Is it something spiritual? Do you want to pray again? Is it, I want to get healthy? I want to read more books? What could you do that says, and this is when I'm going to do it, so that you go from this just down to raspberry jam or not? This is a tough homework assignment because that's what an individual spiritual journey looks like. I wish I could wave this banner up and say, oh, this is the answer for all of you. It's not. Even though sometimes I really think it is, it's not. Sometimes there's better things for you guys to do on a Sunday in your own spiritual life. But in a world that at times can totally be completely overwhelming, what choice could you bring back in to find that calm? Knowing that you can't defend it, it's not going to be the perfect choice, but that by limiting your number of choices, you're just feeling better and more able to go out and bring water to the world. I don't know what your choices are today, but go out and live it. Have a great Father's Day, everybody.